Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Luther Dupree Jr., Smoking Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. So thank you for tuning in. All right, last show we ended with some upcoming fights that we didn't finish them all because there's so many. So we finished off with the Lomachenko-Comey fight, and we're going to start off the show with another big fight. Devin Haney, 26-0, 15 KOs against Jojo Diaz, who's 32-2-1 with 15 KOs, and this is for the very important WBC lightweight title on December 4th. Your thoughts on that fight and predictions?
Devin Haney, the real WBC belt holder. Listen, man, this guy's special, the dream. He went over to Mexico, like Smoking Jim said, started his professional career, dominant, one of the greatest boxers in the sport today. Great defensively, hand speed is excellent, great footwork, power is improving, and now he gets a Jojo Diaz fight. He fought Linares, dominated him last fight. I think we'll see continued domination. This kid is special, one of the youngest guys in the welterweight. Look for him to dominate and style on Jojo Diaz. 12 rounds of domination.
The thing I like about Haney is, yes, he's young, but he's got experience too, 26 fights. And you know me and the experience. I think that it pays off in the ring and out of the ring, physically and mature-wise. Jim, your thoughts on the fight?
I think that Devin's doing a great job of staying away from Lopez. Listen, this is a hand-picked opponent. Even though JoJo is
He's
only,
a number one ranked.
even though JoJo is 29 years old, he's been in a lot of wars. His best weight was featherweight, so he's a smaller guy. He's been in a lot of wars. This is a nice hand-picked, another hand-picked opponent for Devin Haney, who is a superstar. Just stay away from Lopez.
So you think if he goes another level, he's going to be exposed?
Well, I think he can go a lot of different levels, just don't go towards Lopez. Level out, or he'll get leveled out.
Lopez could have fought him to be the real undisputed. He chose not to. He chose to take Kambosos.
Haney don't want to
and we
see
see
him.
it. No,
Haney
he's
don't
been
wanna
wanting to
see
see him.
When?
Why?
That's why he
Listen,
fought JoJo?
listen. Here's what you need to
JoJo Heat?
understand. No, because Tio wouldn't fight him. Listen, Tio petitioned to get the franchise belt, the WBC franchise belt, when he fought Lomachenko. That's what you need to understand. That's a fact. Let's see. You have a lot of wrong opinions on this show, and I have to keep bringing reality back to the table. And they could have fought this fight.
We've talked about this a lot before, Luther, as far as you say that he doesn't want it, this guy doesn't want it. Is it the promoter who is looking at it on the business angle and saying, look, maybe not just Haney, I'm talking about any of these guys, say, look, maybe he just isn't ready right now. You call it marinating, I'm saying right business move.
Of course, all these promoters want to marinate fights. That's why these
Because
young
a fighter
guys
would
aren't
think,
fighters.
I can beat anybody.
Exactly. It's these promoters that want to marinate fights, keep this as long as possible. There's no reason Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford shouldn't have fought by now. There's no reason a Wilder and AJ shouldn't have fought 3 years ago and had it undisputed. There's no reason Tio shouldn't have fought Devin Haney to find out who's the real undisputed.
And Luther makes
needs to happen.
Luther makes a great point because how Muhammad Ali and Don King got together, Ali fought an exhibition for a Cleveland hospital in the inner city. And so like he said, Crawford should have went to the hospital for Errol Spence because that's where he's been the last 2 years.
Wow.
You said there's no reason. You're right.
Let me ask you, Luther, I've said this about you, and obviously we're all three passionate about it, but are you looking at it, when you say what you just said, are you looking at it from Luther the fan or Luther
I'm looking at it for
fan?
what's good for boxing.
Fan.
We remember good fights, because we had top guys fighting
right.
each other. That's good for boxing. That's how I look at
So
it.
you
Not
think
a
it can be
fan.
both ways?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's a great fight, it's great for boxing. People remember the great fights. Hearns, we talked
I'm
about
with
it.
you.
Hearns, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard.
At the right
That's
point,
what
I think I'm with
At
you.
the right, there you go with that. The right point. The right point is when they're both undefeated. They both have a title. Make the
Oh,
fight
yeah,
happen.
no, I'm good with
You
that.
know,
I'm good with this fight, yes.
these guys, you guys, see, you guys are getting into that promotional talk. Let these fights marinate. And meanwhile, MMA and all these other combat
No, I'm with
sports
you.
are passing
I
it
think
because the
Floyd-
best are
Oh,
fighting the
you're
best.
wrong.
The UFC, all the best fights happen.
Well, let's
Now
talk
we
about
gotta keep waiting.
Let's
We
talk
gotta
about
keep
somebody making money. They ain't making money over there. Hey,
Dana White's making money. He's not paying the fighters.
Rosado and Jamie just had one of the fights of the year, and they're two evenly fought fighters. Fights is fights, man. If you're a good matchmaker, and I could be a great matchmaker.
Right.
This is the kind of fights I
You
like.
want the big fights.
No, I just
you
want
want the
great,
big fights.
I want to see this fight again. Jamie and Rosado.
You're the only one.
No,
you're
that
the
was
only
a
one.
fight of
You're
the
the only
year.
one. It was not
How
fight of
many
the year.
people won the Gotti Award again?
Jamie dominated that fight. I mean, he won
But it was
easily
a war.
8-4.
He won
It
every
was a-
round, yeah, but
he
it was
And
a
it was
won easily
nominated for Fight
9-3.
of the Year.
Yeah, there's
it was
no
nominated
rematch.
for Fight of the Year.
There's
And they
a lot
both
of
went
fights
down.
nominated.
They both went down on the
Man,
tackle.
that little tackle. It was a solid fight, but there's no need for another
Wow,
fight.
they didn't back up. I love it. I would love to see
Yeah, I mean,
it.
it was a great
It's a
fight.
balance. I understand what you're saying. You don't want things to marinate. I thought Floyd Pacquiao was marinating.
Exactly.
Okay?
All these
I'm with
fights
you.
are marinade.
And again, we have something to compare it to with the Leonard Hagler, Hearns, Durant. So I get that. All I'm saying too, that's a fan and good for boxing, but at the same time, it is a business. Okay, and you might say, you know what, you're just not ready for that. Let's squeeze a few more dimes out of this guy. That's just
And
the way
you
it
may
is.
never
That's
get
just
it.
the way it is.
And you may never
Back
get
when
it.
Pittsburgh,
And wouldn't a fighter, wouldn't a boxer, in all honesty, like to make a nice chunk of change against somebody who they're not going to get the hell knocked out of them?
a good point. And back when Pittsburgh was a fight
guys
town,
are way
there used to
off.
be professional boxing 5 nights a week in Pittsburgh from Tuesday through Saturday. So that they wasn't all big. People want to see people.
They
love
don't fight
fighting.
but 2 times a year, Jim.
But
most
other
of these guys
people-
only
there's
fight
a-
2 times.
yeah,
if they
but-
were fighting 3 and 4 times, okay, then you could have a
No.
soft touch, and then you could have
That's
a
a
warrior.
Billy
But
Corn
they're
wasn't
fighting 2
fighting
times.
every week. There's people want to see people want to see people fight.
you
People
don't
want to
think it's
see
names?
people want to see people fight. When these guys are fighting twice a year, you want to see them fight a tough competition.
Here's where I
It's not
disagree with you a little
happening.
bit, Jim. We talked about it a lot on the show about undercards. They're fights too, but they're not names. I'm into names, and Luther has
I'm
said,
in the heavyweights.
well, heavyweight names, whoever their names.
Greatest
I'm-
era for boxing.
Oh, you had to get that in
But,
because
you
you didn't
know-
get it in last show.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right, he didn't. But again, like Luther said, Holyfield should retire. Tyson, all these guys should retire. I get it, but then who's going to replace those guys? Okay, they're the pay-per-view guys. They're the reasons you want to watch a fight. Either you love them or you want to see them lose. Whether you like Mayweather,
Well, let me
or hate
ask
him,
you
but
a
he
question.
drew something from you.
Let me ask you a question. Take away Wilder Fury, okay? You would still watch that undercard
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And undercards similar
It was
to it.
interesting and it meant something.
Yeah, so it don't
And we
have
knew who
to
those
be-
guys
yeah.
were, though.
Boxing fans, yes, but if you want to bring in the casuals, you got to start having these bigger fights. Boxing fans are going to watch.
Who's
2
the
guys are
casual? Who's the
fighting.
casuals?
Sometimes I think you are with the way you talk, Smoker Jim. Listen, you casuals are guys who only come in for the big fights. If you want the sport to grow, you have to have more of that. You know, think about all the fights we've lost through the years. We should have had Floyd Pacquiao
How
years
come
ago.
WWE don't have a problem with
Because it's
that?
fake.
And it's all
It's,
casual.
it is all
the
fake.
huh?
It's all fake.
But I'm saying,
and you know
every
what?
year the
And you
big
know what?
names go and they still
No,
watch.
every
and
year
they
those big
still go
names
to the
wrestle each
arena.
other.
Right.
We have how many years? It was 2017 that Wilder and Joshua was supposed to happen. It didn't. How long have we been waiting for Terrence Crawford and Errol
And
Spence?
you still might not
Too
see
many
it.
years, and we may never see either one of those fights.
So that's the only time
So
the
what was the first one
casuals
you said
watch.
before?
I said Wilder and Joshua.
Oh, okay.
Wilder and Joshua should have happened.
I just want
You
to
know,
see
Terrence
fights. I
Crawford
just
and
wanna see
Errol
fights.
Spence.
I
Yes,
don't know about
everybody wants to
casual.
see fights.
I don't know that- I
but
don't
we
know-
want
I
to
don't
see
know
those
nobody
big
named
fights,
Casual.
Jim.
I don't know nobody named Casual.
Those are the ones you're talking about. Why do we remember Hearns and Hagler? Those were big names that came together for a great fight. People 40 years still talking about it. That's what we need. I thought Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence could have been that type of fight.
And
That's what we
not to
need
get
right
off
now.
on something different, but it kind of is connected. Something that we talk about all the time. There could be 2 guys who are really good fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and they pound each other and they show heart and soul and courage, but we don't know who they are.
Right.
We're just watching 2 guys fight. Boxing, football, you want to root for a team, you want to root against a team. Floyd, again, whether you like them, Evel Knievel. Some people wanted to watch him make the jump. Some people wanted to see him crash. Okay? That's just the way it
Right.
is.
Always
Right.
watch that.
Yeah, Evo, and he promoted it well, and but we know his story. Again, I'm a big story guy. We've
Right.
talked about it on this show numerous times. Why aren't these promoters saying, let's get this guy out. Let him know how his family. Okay, Plant. We didn't know anything about Plant until what? They told his story. And yeah, we liked
Well,
him as
I
a
knew
fighter.
about Plant. I
Okay,
followed him.
okay, but you
You're
knew
right.
about it.
Right.
And you like, what's the first thing you said? I like his story.
I
His
still
story
don't
was
know nothing
amazing.
about him. I still don't know nothing about Plant.
You're cold,
Well,
that's why.
you don't pay attention. You don't read. So
But I think that's so important. It doesn't matter who it is. Again, for the zillionth time, Buster Douglas. I knew who he was, and I always watched the fights with my dad.
I knew you were going to crowbar Buster in here.
I have to. And then, but then when they said his mom, I related to that because my mom had recently passed. Then I really wanted him to win, right? So it was a connection. Right? So I'm saying, do the fans have a connection with boxers today?
Did all clocks go back for daylight savings, or is it 10 after 12 everywhere?
No, you're right. You're right. You know, when you have a story to sell, Claudio, it's great.
Another inside joke here.
Oh man.
Go ahead, Lou.
But we're on that topic. I want Devin Haney after he schools JoJo. I want that Teofimo Lopez fight. It needs to happen for boxing. Both of these guys are at the peak. I hope it does happen, man. You guys.
I hope it does as well. Okay. Nonito Donaire, 41-6 and 27 knockouts against Raymart Gabalio, 24-0 and 20 knockouts. WBC Bantamweight. That happened on December 11th. At one point, Donaire was really had a lot of traction, and some people had him on the pound for pound. Your thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, another guy that was pushed up too high and put up in front of a lot of fighters, mostly black fighters in that pound for pound list. Never understood all the hype. You know, these bantamweights,
Would have been better against a white fighter or what?
I weighed more than these guys when I was elementary school. I mean, yes, it's exciting. They throw a lot of punches, but come on, man. This guy, they had him on a pound for pound list. He shouldn't have been there. And I hope he loses this one. I think I'd like to see some new blood get in there. I'd like to see some new blood get in there. He was a lot. The hype jobs. I'm just tired of the hype
I hope
jobs.
he loses.
Not I hope he loses, but you know it's time for him to move on, man. That's where I'm at with this.
Smoking Jim.
All that watermelon put weight on Luther, but hey, listen, this guy, man, listen, he's 39 years old. He's fighting somebody that's 25 years old. Like Luther said, bantamweights. I usually don't talk about bantamweights, but hey,
You only
listen,
talk about
you know, the
heavyweights.
young man is 24-0 with 20 KOs.
Hopefully
this is
it's
a good
21
step up.
KOs.
This is a good step up fight for him.
He gotta win.
And you know, he should beat the elder. He should beat.
He
the
got to
elder.
send him to the senior circuit, man. It's time for Nonito to get out of here. Hopefully, this young guy needs to make a name for himself. I mean,
And
the
this would
guy
be the
has
guy to
6
do it
losses.
against.
This guy has 6 losses, but he still has a big name.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get some young guys in here.
Now, a guy that I've been following because of his father, Nigel, and that's Connor Benn. He's looked good, and he's turning it up a little bit, opponent-wise, kind
Is
of.
he?
Now, I'm gonna make Luther happy here. This is the first Italian guy that I've not. Chris Algieri, bothering the hell out of me. Who was his big fight against?
Yeah, he's lost a couple.
Right,
He's
but who
lost
was the
3.
big one that he won?
Earl Spence dominated him. He beat
Yeah,
him
there was
bad.
somebody he did beat
Oh, he
for
beat?
the belt. Yeah, I don't know who it was.
That
But
was
anyway,
years ago.
Years ago. You know, he's a nice name to have on your ledger there. I think Ben is going to dominate the fight.
He
Now,
better.
yeah, Algieri is good as far as tactic wise, but Ben's going to catch him. Your thoughts on the fight, but also your thoughts on Connor Benn.
I mean, it's another in the same line that he's been fighting. Chris Algieri, C-level fighter at this point. 25-3, 9 KOs,
You
not
know
a
what
lot
you
of
called
power.
me at the pit game?
What?
That's you.
Oh, no, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. Corner Ben, he's living off his daddy's name. I still need to see him take it up a little bit. I like his aggressiveness. I still see some flaws in his game, but it's a nice step up. He should knock this guy out, and I would like to see. I know he called out Adrian Broner, Sean Porter. I'd like him to take that next step, but he has potential. But we'll see how what happens. But I got him in a KO against Chris Algieri, maybe 8 rounds. I think he gets.
Do
him
you
out of there.
think that he has a shot to make a name here in the States? Like his father was a big name over there
Yeah.
in the state, and he was a hell of a fighter.
Listen, a lot of these UK guys, they beat up a lot of guys out there, then they come over here and get exposed, like Anthony Joshua did when he stepped foot in the ring with Andy Ruiz. So I'm not sure. I got to see him step up in competition. We have Pittsburgh good,
Flurry,
and we have
Klitschko,
UK. We have UK good. Yeah, those guys, those are legends, and they proved it. We have a lot more that didn't prove it, like Frank Bruno. You know, a lot of guys who didn't prove it. So
I thought he was Italian. I was rooting for him. So I saw him. He was all right.
He was all right, but
was
when he
all right.
came over here, what happened? He got exposed.
stuck.
You know, he got exposed, and that's what happens with a lot of UK guys. Unfortunately, we got Pittsburgh good. Sometimes
Luther
they get
came up with that,
exposed.
patent that.
Sometimes we got these UK guys that make a big name, come over here, and get knocked down 6 times like Anthony Joshua.
There's a welterweight fight on December 11th. Your thoughts about Ben and Algieri?
Nah, I wouldn't have took this fight if I was Ben.
Oh,
really?
gosh.
Yeah.
He's not.
I'm worried about
He
this
has
fight.
9
Number
KOs.
one,
I think it's a great fight for him. Go ahead.
Number one,
Showcase
Chris
fight.
Algieri is tall for welterweight. He's 5'10", and he's been ever since he got beat by Earl Spence. He's won his last 4 fights. But the thing that concerns me the most, you never want to fight a nutritionist. I mean, they know
now he's
something about.
here comes the medical advice.
It's all about how you peak on fight day, and the guys that really know their science in nutrition, man,
How
they're
about if you
very
get hit in the
dangerous.
head, though?
Now you're a
As soon as
scientist.
you get punched in the
Yeah,
head,
once you get punched in the
Mike
mouth,
Tyson,
it all goes.
everybody's
I
got
wouldn't
a
have
plan.
took the
They
fight.
get punched in the mouth.
I wouldn't have
I think
took
it's
the
a
fight.
great fight for him because Algieri doesn't have a big punch.
He's a nutritionist.
He's going to need
What's
it.
that do with power? He's still that nutritionist got 9 KOs on his record,
He's
and,
not, he's
and got
not gonna-
destroyed by Spence.
Remember the guy who drank his own urine? He was all into that
Oh.
nutrition.
Yeah,
He
you don't want to fight a guy like that.
Hell no. But especially in the
That's
clinches.
not Chris Algieri, though.
Especially in the clinches. No, Algieri's a nice name. Everybody knows who he is. It's a nice name to have on your record. And I'm not ripping on him, but it's also kind of safe.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to get knocked out. Okay, I don't see him outpointing Conor Benn. But what do you think about Conor Benn? Let's say he gets past this fight. Do you think he has a chance to make a name for himself here in the States? Like his dad, who was a good fighter but didn't for whatever reason.
His dad could hit, man.
Yeah, he could hit.
But yeah, contrary to popular demand beliefs, the United States is this big, and the rest
we
of the
get
world,
that.
the UK is all. These guys want to be known in the UK. They could care less
They come
about
here for why?
this
The
little
money's-
small
the
little
money.
United States.
Exactly.
That's
They come
basically
here for the money,
That's
Jim.
basically only New York, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. I
Texas.
think Ben
Yeah, Texas
is
now.
is
Stop.
concentrating. There ain't nothing in Texas, but Earl spends 200 miles an hour. Listen,
gonna
I
stop
think that
disrespecting
I
it.
think that Chris Conor Ben just needs to concentrate on the road to being a world champion and forget about the United States. Very overrated.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more fights. A lot of things on the docket today. Come back to the boxing authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. We have a very, very special guest on today. Somebody just won his 5th consecutive fight. He started off his career 5-0 the other night, and that's Johnny Spells. Johnny, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on?
All right, man.
You know what, Johnny? We know who you are. We know about you, but we have a global audience. Paint a picture for Johnny Spell. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and how you got started in boxing.
I'm from Pittsburgh, from the east side of Pittsburgh. Started boxing when I was a kid. Came up under my dad and my uncle in the gym. It kind of was natural how I joined, had a lot of amateur fights. I got a big amateur career. Turned pro in 2019. I'm 5-0, 3 knockouts at the moment.
Okay.
All right. Now tell us about the fight the other night.
I just fought Saturday, November 13th. It was a good fight Saturday night. A lot of good fights that night. I had a veteran. He was 6-7. Had like 12, 13 fights. That's like 12, 13 fights. He was very he was good for never been stopped. That was one of my goals, to stop him that night, but it didn't happen. But he was tough. It was a tough fight.
Now they said a key word: experience. He was 6-7, but he had a lot of experience. What did you learn from that fight so you can put that experience in your pocket?
I learned from that fight. Actually, and I adjusted to what I learned. What I'm saying, I'm learning right now. I had to adjust. I learned that never to stay calm. Stay calm. Don't fight the other guy's fight. stay patient. It was very and always be ready. Always be ready to adjust. So a lot of things I learned from that fight.
Okay.
He
Right. Now, that was a fight in your hometown. How many professional fights have you had in your hometown, in Pittsburgh?
none.
None. So this is your
None.
first one, right?
Yeah, that's my first one.
All right. So, through this last year, we saw J-Rock lose in Philly. We saw Hurd get knocked out in D.C., and we saw Charlo struggle. What's the pressure like fighting in your hometown as opposed to fighting in another state?
Good question.
So good. It's way hard. Like fighting at home, it was a lot of pressure. I
Right.
was nervous throughout the whole time.
Right.
It's way out of town. You don't know nobody. You really can focus. It's really not about. It's not fully on. The attention's not fully on you out of town. Nobody really knows you yet.
Right.
You can focus more. In your city, it's like I had a lot of attention.
Right.
People wasn't there. There was a lot of people not even there that I was seeking attention from the social media and then the crowd. Once I start walking out, I start feeling more intensity. So it was very different. I can see why people can lose from home crowds and see
Yeah.
how difficult it can be fighting at home.
Is there more distractions? That's a good question. People want tickets, people asking you questions, whatever it is. Is there more distractions that come with fighting in your hometown?
Yeah, I'll say from this fight, we're going to make a lot of changes. There was a lot of people that was trying to fight their way to seeing me. I had to make a lot of favors. I had to. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot of distractions when I should have just stayed to myself, but worry about the family, friends, and all the people that wanted to be there. Worried that it was there. When everything's not fully under your control and you like taking care and trying to take care of things at the same time, it's pretty hard. So I learned from this fight, fighting at home and what comes with it to what I gotta adjust to do for the next fight. That's gonna be out.
Hey, Johnny, this is Smoking Jim. Did your
going
opponent
on?
hit you at all? You're unblemished, man.
Right. It looked like you
didn't-
did.
Yeah,
it
you
looked
only
like you was
fought
even
2
in a
days
fight.
ago. You ain't even got a bruise, man.
I lost the value.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, I was asking, man, did your opponent hit you at all? Because you're unbruised, man. In 2 days, looked like you wasn't even in the fight, man.
Yeah, he hit me. That was the most I've been hit in the pros. So,
Okay.
when I just rewatched the fight, I've been hit about like 10 or 15 times. So we try to keep it like that. It was a
Right.
low percentage. It was still a low percentage, but he just wasn't hit. I just never. I didn't feel any of his punches. I'll say that. So
Okay. Now, what weight are you at now? And
Featherweight.
You're still featherweight?
yeah, that was a super feather fight.
Okay. Okay.
question.
All right. Now, you plan on staying there? Because I know, your frame seems like you could put a couple more pounds on. How are you making the weight?
It wasn't hard making 130. It was a catch weight 132, but I was like basically 130 for that fight. It wasn't hard at all. I feel like I can make 126 easy. I feel like I can make 126. I feel like I think I'm still gonna head to the featherweight division
Okay.
and go capture the title.
Okay.
Who are some of the guys you've trained with, Johnny?
I trained alongside Devontae Tank Davis,
Woo!
Floyd Mayweather. I've been at Floyd's gym with Andrew Tabiti, Louis Cabela. Who else can I say alongside? I've been around Coach Calvin, some great trainers. Coach Calvin, Big Floyd Mayweather, Senior. Yeah, I've been. That's about it as far as main.
That's pretty good, though.
Hey, those are some
Big
great.
man.
Those are some great names. Now, tell me now your outfit. I mean, your wardrobe. Did you have a symbol? If we could show that picture, was it? You had. I know the one you had title on there, and then you had another one.
I had the money team patch.
Oh, okay. So you, with TMT with Floyd?
Yeah. They friends and family, man. So it's a supportive thing. So that was a supportive fight. A lot of people asked me after they seen the outfit. I'm still signed to Integrity. I'm still signed. I'm signed to Integrity Management right now. I'm just under management. No
Oh,
good
okay.
promotion. no big promotion yet, but
I thought you were dropping something. I said, man, he got TMT on his outfit. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Now training with those
everybody
guys-
know that's my favorite. That's my go-to. Them my guys. So
Right.
they support me. So it's good for the entertainment too. Everybody love to see that TMT on me. It looks good. You
Yeah,
know,
it does, man. Hey, you got the best wardrobe in the whole city, man. I mean, every time you put something out in the ring, and then we got to see what you walk out in, man. It's A level, man.
Now
you got
training with the
star
guys.
quality.
Oh, no doubt. Training with the guys you've trained with. How has that elevated your game?
It lets me know that there's levels to this boxing. So training with the bigger guys, training with the bigger names, being in some big atmospheres, it lets you know that that there's levels, and it elevates me too. It's letting me know I'm not, I'm trying to get to that top level of a fighter. So I'm really trying to just stay level headed and get to that top level as a fighter. I'm trying to chase the greatest to ever do it. So
Right.
I'm trying to stay on top of my game.
Hey, now you talked about Floyd Mayweather. Now there's, I've never been there, but they said the doghouse rules and all that. Have you been there and participated in some of the sparring they call it doghouse or whatever they call it?
Yeah, I've been in the doghouse sparring. Yeah, it's doghouse sparring is when you spar no bell. You
Dang.
spar until somebody say I'm done.
Dang.
Yeah.
So I mean, what is that like? I mean, so you could be sparring, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, and I only did it once, and I only won 10 minutes. I'll say I
10
wasn't the one to
minutes.
quit.
Pretty
Straight-
good.
What, 10 minutes straight?
10 minutes
Yikes.
straight. I'll say I wasn't the one to quit. Now, one thing about the doghouse, what goes on in the doghouse, stay in the doghouse. But I'll say I wasn't the one to quit.
Man, that's tough, man. I mean, I heard stories, and now to have somebody who's actually been through it, 10 minutes, man, that takes a lot. I mean, sparring doghouse like that, you could really get hurt in sparring and take those extra punches, man. But I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
it's tough.
you were avoiding a lot of that with your mobility and all.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. That's it gets real in there. No bail, you don't get to stop. You gotta serve it and really fighting. Really, you want to fight it out because the obstacle is to make them quit. So you don't really want to move. You don't really want to be no boss. You want to just bang. You want to just show who's tougher. So
What's next? What is your next fight?
everybody know what I want. I want the casino next. I want the casino next, and I want to be co-main or main event. I want to be the main event or
Now,
co-main.
which casino? Because which casino are you talking about?
We want the Rivers, but
Yeah.
we're acceptable with the Meadows if they willing to let us do what we need to do. So either one. So I want Rivers Casino. I already let the management know. We already talked about it. So that's what we want. That would be a big event. I feel like we was bigger than a venue that we just had. I feel like we could have had a bigger venue and sold it out. I feel like we underestimated the crowd. I feel like we need to do the casino. It'll be the biggest thing we can. It'll be the biggest event.
Years
we can
ago,
do.
Johnny, Luther, Jim, and I did an event at the casino outside. We could actually touch the water. That's how close we were sitting to the water. It was a great event. Monty Meza Clay headlined it, and it was an outdoor
Yeah.
event, as I said. Great event, and I know that would be magical for you too. And I wish you luck doing that. You mentioned Integrity Boxing. Talk about Integrity Boxing. Their leaders, Mike McSorley, JJ. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, they're the best management in the city. They're very genuine. They're smart. They're doing their homework. They're there when you need you as a fighter. As personally for me, I know that they're there for me. We communicate. The communication is always on point. They don't treat me like just somebody on the roster. They treat me like family. I'm we all just as important as each other. No matter who got more fights, no matter who got this or who got losses on a roster, we all treated the same.
Right.
I advise anybody from around here if they turn in pro, to make sure that's somebody they consider and doing a contract with to start their career off.
Hey, we have some video you training, Johnny. Has your routine changed a lot? You're on your fifth fight. You know, so how many rounds are you fighting now? What is it, 4? Is it 6 or?
We offered that opponent 6 rounds. We obviously see why he didn't take it. He wouldn't have made it 6, but we don't want no more 4. We don't want no more 4-rounders. But that's what we did for the last fight. We're done with 4 rounds. So that was our last 4-rounder. So next fight should be 6 or 8. If we can get approved for 8, that's what we want. But 6 is the next move.
Yeah. We have clips of you know, one of your older fighters where you stopped the guy in the corner. I forget who was this one joining.
Nah, I think that's my pretty beat.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like your celebration, man. I heard your uncle in the corner, you know, giving all the feedback, man. But you look good. I know we've been following you since the amateurs, and I'll say it, and I know Jim will agree with me. You know, there was some bad judging, and you won every fight we saw. There was one guy that, you know, had judges in his pocket, but I thought you won, and I wanted you to always take on a Philly fighter, man. But there was some, I think you got the bad call, man. But so I'm glad that you're knocking out a lot of these guys, and your power is transferred, man. So what's in your future, man? I mean, I know you said Rivers, but you're going to stay at this one. What else is in your future? Any opponents that you're eyeing?
126, 130 is the divisions I'm eyeing at the opponents. My absolute, I'll be honored to fight right now is Gary Russell.
Woo.
You know, I want Gary Russell, somebody I want to step up to before he gets too old.
He
you know.
needs a fight, man. He hasn't fought in. I didn't know if he retired. It's been a while since he's fought, but very talented.
He's still holding the belt. He's the longest reigning champion.
Yeah, you're right. He has the WBC title. Is that at 126?
Yep. And he's the longest reigning champion right now. So
that's true.
I look to come up and see him or Leo Santa Cruz. You know, but there's some dangerous names down there. You know, you got Neverett. You got somebody hot. Yeah, you got Emmanuel Neverett. There's some guys I want to see that, you know, that will be iconic routes for my career. So
that would be huge. Question: have you ever been in a ring sport with Shakur Stevenson? I know he's 130 right now.
Yes, I think we only did like a round, but yeah.
Okay. What do you think about him? I mean, he showed a lot against his last opponent, the Marine.
Yeah, he's very good. You know, he's as big as the height. Mm-hmm. He's a great fighter. I want to get around him way more.
Okay.
That's something I'm gonna be reaching out to soon. Stay in tune with him. But yeah, he's a very good fighter. What he did to Jamel, I was surprised.
Yeah. I mean, he was
feel
so
like
confident.
I feel like T-Bud was surprised. We all knew we won, but I feel like we was surprised on the dominance that he did in that fight. I feel like he sort of retired Jamel. So
that was a dominant performance, and he was so confident. I've never seen him that offensively aggressive. That was a different Shakur I haven't seen in a while, and I was really impressed with him. And I wish he would get that big fight with Oscar Valdez, so he could unify. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
I see there's 3 fights for him. I see the Prime Time, Chris Colbert.
That'll be a good one too.
Yeah, Oscar Valdez, which is the most important. But then he has another very important. He can fight Burchett, so that's a very important fight.
You know, Johnny, the thing that sticks out to me about you is after your fights, we've heard some of your comments, and you're never satisfied. You always feel you can do better, and I've always been impressed with that. Tell us about that mentality.
There's always, when you stop learning in boxing, that's when you're done. So you should never stop learning. You know, boxing's a never ending learning journey. So for me, after every fight, I always watch my film. I don't release my film all the time on YouTube or on the internet. I usually keep on the film that I can until it gets out of my hand. Like once on TV, it's out of your hand. But right now, I try to keep my film to myself, and I watch it. And I only look for the mistakes. I only look for what I did wrong. I don't like to see all the stuff that everybody else like to see. I don't get too big headed on all the feedback on, oh, you did great, you look phenomenal, I'm always looking at the feedback that was negative, so I can fix it. Go back and look at my film and fix it. You know.
Right.
Okay.
No, that's good. That's good.
Hey, Johnny, as we get ready, what is your social media so the viewing fans and everybody can follow you? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Put that
It's
out there so everybody
Instagram.
can follow
It's-
him.
On Instagram, you follow me at ttgboxing_Johnny, and on Facebook, it's ttg Johnny Spell.
Okay. Listen, man, I've been out there. You have a lot of good stuff out there, man. I'm impressed. I know you were always one of our favorites when we covered amateur boxing, and we always said you had the skills that could translate to the next level. Would you agree, Jim?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Best, I've seen them all. Best amateur boxer I ever seen in this area, and this is the City of Champions. We always knew, expected big things from Johnny and still expect big things from him. Yeah.
Well, we know you're nowhere near being done, nowhere near. You haven't even come close. And we certainly appreciate you taking your time. Like I said, as soon as I heard you won, I was really happy for you. And you've been on our show.
Yeah.
Before Steel
You've
City
been on-
Sports World, I believe. Or was it Ring Talk?
Ring Talk, Steel City Sports World.
And we're going to
Man,
keep following you.
We've
keep
been following
covering you.
since he was at Pitt, in high school.
Yep.
We-
Just
we've
don't
been
forget
following.
about us when you get that big belt.
The volume went out.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No, I said we've been following you. You've been on our shows. We appreciate it. Wish you all the best. Just don't forget about us whenever you get that big belt someday.
I won't. You guys always got me.
Hey, real quick now, you said you've been in camp with Gervonta Davis. He has a big fight with Isaac Cruz. What's your prediction in that fight? Have you been in a ring or familiar with Isaac Cruz at all?
Nope, I never. Actually, I'm just now starting to watch his fights.
Okay.
Just to see. I'm a Boston fan, so
Right.
I like. So once I seen his name come up, I never seen him before his name for this fight. So I've been looking into him, and he's tough, but I see a lot of errors.
Yeah.
I see a lot of things that Devontae's going to take advantage of.
Right.
So, as a Boston fan, and that is nobody's friend, but just as a Boston fan, doing my homework, I see Devontae knocking him out early.
Hey, thanks, Johnny. I'm gonna put heavy money on Tank Davis.
Tank Davis is
I'm gonna
special,
make some
man.
money thanks to Johnny.
He went out again.
Good.
All right,
Say it
Joe.
again. He said you went out. He didn't hear that.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you back in now.
No, I said thanks, Johnny. I'm gonna put heavy money now on Tank Davis. Thanks, you gonna make me a lot of money this fight, brother.
Yeah, I know my predictions, but it's crazy. My predictions with Devontae, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. I've been on the money. So
You predicted Earl Spence would go to the hospital?
Oh, see,
No.
Jim.
No.
Stop that, Jim.
I'm just asking.
Man, Jim doesn't like Earl Spence. I think Earl Spence is one of the best. Jim hates Earl Spence. Hey, speaking of
the
that, now,
value went out again.
okay. How about Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter? Who do you
value
have in that
out.
fight? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you say that one more time?
Oh, Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter this coming weekend. Do you see a dominant performance by pound for pound, or you think Sean Porter's going to make it tough for him? How do you see that fight going?
I'm gonna predict if Terrence Crawford is Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford come out as 100% as he should, he stops Sean Porter. It'll be the first fighter to stop him.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nobody stopped Sean Porter. Okay, all right.
I feel like he's going. I feel like he's definitely going to. And I'm not saying it makes him dominant against anybody else that didn't stop him after this, but I just feel like that style stops Sean Porter. I feel like nobody has this type of
Right.
style.
Wow,
This style is
all
really the one
right.
that stops Sean Porter.
All right, you heard it from a future champ.
I'm put some money on the
Well, Johnny,
knockout.
like I said,
It
we're going
won't
to keep.
change anything about the 50-50 with Earl Spence and Sean and T-Bud. I still 50-50 fight between them. I actually still got Earl Spence to beat T-Bud.
I
But
do too.
I feel like T-Bud will stop Sean Porter just with the style.
Okay, all right.
Well, Johnny, you know what? We're going to keep following you. We wish you all the best. Appreciate you taking time to come on the show, and you have some big fans here for sure. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
All right,
All right,
take
man.
care.
Talk to you later.
Well, Johnny Spells from the south side, so every time that incline goes up, he loses his Wi-Fi.
Oh,
So we are at the end of our show here, our popular segment, mailbag. Okay, Claudio, this is Mike from Detroit. What was Vinny Paz's best weight? For me, I would say super middleweight. Vinny's chin carried up all the way up to super middleweight, but so did his power. He had some good, big knockouts, including the big Dana Rosenblatt. He won 2 world titles at super middleweight as well. So for me, and he walked around 170 anyway. So I definitely think 168 was his best. Joe from Pittsburgh, all 3. Favorite place you ever watched a fight? Luther.
wow, it's got to be Atlanta for me. I got to see Tank Davis versus what's his name? He just fought Devin Haney as well. But Tank Davis in Atlanta, that was an amazing event. Crowd was live, and he just put on a show, man. Tank Davis is one of the best in the business, man.
Freaknik weekend.
Oh, Jim, favorite place to watch a fight? Or that you-
Favorite place I ever watched a fight was Claudio Rosano's
Oh, I appreciate that. All right, well, I loved having you guys over. For me, it was without question Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. Saw a bunch of Vinny Paz fights there. Love the venue. Just a beautiful place. Great
Love the
food,
gambling.
great hotel. What's that?
Love the gambling.
I did good there. I hit, for me, it's $300. That's pennies for him, but it was good for me. And Vinny got mad because I stopped. But I said, no, it was good enough for me. All right. One more. This is for all 3 of us. Ron from Medina. Who was the guy who played? Oh, this is for me. Who was the guy who played for the New York Mets who had a nice amateur boxing career? Was it Lee Mazzilli? No. Lee Mazzilli's dad, Libero, was a professional boxer years ago in the 40s. But the guy who had a good amateur career in boxing who played for the New York Mets was Ray Knight. And he punched Eric Davis around a few times during a brawl. But yes, it was Ray Knight, who was married to Nancy Lopez, the golfer. But anyway, yeah, Ray was a
J-Lo's
very
sister?
good. No. No, this is before J-Lo. Nancy Lopez, Hall of Fame golfer. But yeah, Mazzilli's dad was a very good boxer as well, but it was Ray Knight. Okay, as always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much, and happy Thanksgiving to all the fans. We appreciate you so much. I'm thankful for these guys more than they know. I appreciate them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Claudio.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Catch you guys soon.